Welcome back, Troglodytes, to the Trogly's Guitar Show. Today we have a real beauty. This is one of the ending runs of the Guitar of the Week series that Gibson did in 2007. Now, if you've never taken the time to go through all the Guitar of the Week guitars, I highly suggest you do. The mid-2000s, around that 2005 to 2008 era, really birthed a lot of cool Gibson guitars that a lot of people don't even know exist because they were made in such limited numbers. Despite there being 52 weeks in a year, there were only 48 Guitar of the Week guitars, and this one was number 46. And this one definitely ranks up there because who doesn't love the look of a 3-pickup black beauty? When I pulled this thing out of the case, the very first thing I said is, I want to put a Bigsby on it. So I had a Vibramate on me, so I did go ahead and throw it on, but I didn't actually install it. I just wanted to see what it looked like, because as soon as I was thinking about maybe installing it for this demo, the Vibramate unit sold, and it's like, great, of course, that's how it goes. You're selling something, and as soon as you think, oh, I might have a use for that now, somebody else wants it. However, this is how it came stock. So the claim to fame for week 46 is, again, it's a 3-pickup black beauty. This is a model similar to like Jimmy Page's Les Paul Custom. He's the reason why I want to put a Bigsby on this thing so bad. But from right here, this looks just like a Les Paul Custom. However, the headstock is a little bit different. You do not have your custom emblem on it, you have the crown. You still do retain your ebony fretboard, however, you have the trapezoidal inlays instead of the block inlays. However, construction is the same. You have your maple top on these with a mahogany back and mahogany neck with a slim 60s profile. However, the big thing that's either make or break for this series for you guys is these are chambered. Now that's a really good thing for people who have a bad back and want a lighter guitar, and they want a 3-pickup black beauty, because your options are fairly limited between this and maybe one of those ESLP customs. Now, my opinions on chambering, I think some guitars sound better than others. I know I had a modern day Les Paul Standard that was chambered, and I thought the thing sounded like garbage. It wasn't my kind of Les Paul tone. However, I've never really had any issues with these 2007 runs. They always sound really good to me. But I think it's because these guitars are just so aesthetically pleasing that I can live past pretty much anything, because they have the same woods as the higher end custom, and they're just about as fancy. And I think being a limited edition of 400, as all of the Guitar of the Week series guitars were, it really just adds to the vibe of this guitar. These are really difficult to find. Now, one of the major differences between this and like a historic reissue of one of these guitars is you have a Nashville-styled bridge. A very common and popular modification is to put one of those ABR1s on here with a conversion kit, and it really does transform the look of this guitar even closer to the real deal. The only huge cosmetic difference between these guitars and like the reissue Black Beauty 3-pickup customs is you don't have the binding on the back. Now, being a 3-pickup Les Paul, what that normally means is your middle position is your middle and bridge pickup in kind of an out of phase tone. It gives you kind of the quacky Stratty-like sounds, and I love that. However, this one is wired in the more traditional way that people like, where it has 3 volumes and a master tone. This way, this one will blend in the middle pickup. So you can kind of get some of the middle pickup when you want it and when you don't. I think that's great if you're like a recording artist or you really want to dial in your sound, but I'm a more simple guy. I kind of just like it when I can just have that Stratty sound on a Les Paul and I don't have to worry about, oh, do I have that middle pickup blending in with any of these other things? That's just my personal opinion. Most people like this volume knob for the middle pickup. Now, some Guitar of the Week series guitars like this one are very desirable and still bring in quite a bit of money, and some are not so desirable, like the 3 single coil SG. I see those things for sale all the time. But I think my favorite Guitar of the Week series guitars are this one, the Zebrawoods Les Paul Classic. I think the Zebrawoods Firebird's also kind of cool. You also have a 3-pickup Cherry Sunburst Custom, similar to Ace Frehley's. There's also kind of a 54 Black Beauty reissue. It has 2 P90s instead of the staple pickup. But that is a really cool guitar. I have had one of those on my channel if you want to check it out. And then they also had a 2-pickup version of this with uncovered coils, as well as a white custom and a silver burst and a rim burst custom. So overall, I really do suggest checking out one of these Guitar of the Week Les Paul customs, because they really are fantastic playing guitars. This guitar weighs 8 pounds and 13 ounces and features a 60 slim neck profile. Alright, now that we know how this one sounds, let's take a look at its condition. Now this guitar is actually in pretty good shape. I think I've owned this thing for like 3 or 4 months. I'm really behind on making these guitar reviews. However, this one's so cool, I don't mind having owned it for so long. Overall, this guitar is in pretty good shape. It does have some scratches, and some are a little bit more deeper than others here. The one thing I really want to point out here is the kind of deeper scratches right here by the truss rod cover. I'm guessing somebody was adjusting the neck on this, and their screwdriver slipped both ways, or something like that, and it just kind of scratched it up a little bit. So for the most part, you just have your average string change scratches. However, from far away, you really don't see those too much. The truss rod cover on these says Les Paul, and it's kind of a brass material. I think that's really cool. It's kind of like a shout out to the 70s Gibsons that would have these. And you have your crown logo on here. Now again, these do still retain ebony fretboards, and I think that's the main selling point for these guys, is they look like the real deal. They have the same woods as the real deal. They just have a few cosmetic differences and chambering to make these a little bit easier on your back. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with black guitars. I like the way they look, but I hate how they show absolutely everything. Pretty much any black guitar, you're going to see these polishing marks. If you've ever polished it, I mean, you really have to take this to a professional buffer to get those out and to make it look brand new. So this is definitely a guitar you can just play and not worry about. I would say if you took this to like a professional buffer, they could probably make this thing look absolutely brand new. So I would say this one's kind of almost collector's grade. However, again, you do have scratches and very light nicks and dings pretty well all over this guitar. It's not necessarily a case queen, but it's not really trashed by any means either. Back of the headstock here, our serial number is 033270467, and you do have a Made in USA stamp. As you can see, lots of handling marks and polishing swirls and whatnot. And there is a very small chip in the finish right here. I could touch that up if you want me to. I have one of those black marker touch-up pens from Gibson. But the rest of this guitar on the headstock's looking pretty good. I'm not seeing any major nicks or dings in the neck, but again, your typical polishing swirls and just handling marks from me touching this thing. It's definitely got more of a 60s neck profile to it. I wouldn't say it's a super slim like SG. It's got a little bit to it, but it's not quite to medium territory yet, to me anyways. Gibson did advertise these as 60s necks. Now the back of this guitar shows the most wear. If you get it in the light just right, you can see it looks like this thing laid on a piece of paper in its case for a while, and that left some impression marks. So this is probably the worst thing cosmetically about this guitar. But as you can see, it's not really chewed up by buckle worming too much, but you do have some of it with some light scratches. This guitar is all original, and it's a fantastic player. The sides of the guitar are also in a similar shape. Just your light wear and tear. You still have your original strap buttons on here as well. And you do have a few small impressions like right there. But I would say this condition would please, I'd say 98% of people. We will take a look at this guitar under blacklight. You can see the headstock's looking good here. No finished touch-ups there. Now, I can't tell you for sure what these 6 spots are, but what it looks like to me is somebody's hand was just resting on it and the clear coat has worn a little bit. You really don't feel a difference between these spots. However, that's not really blacklighting like a touch-up. You can see here that somebody's sweaty arm has been here, and that's why this glows a little bit more. As you can see, in regular lighting situations, that's not even apparent, even now that you know about it. Back of the headstock is also glowing the way I would expect to see. And you've got a little bit more glowing finish here, because once again, sweaty guy handling this guitar, it makes it glow a little bit more so than the other finishes. Holy shit. Wow. Usually when a guitar looks this clean, I don't blacklight them until this, so this guitar just has a moon on it. That's interesting. So what I'm guessing that is, it was a sticker at some point in time. You can see the other outline area right there. That is interesting. This isn't like buckle wear or anything. This is just kind of like the slightly discolored finish, but since this clear coat is over black, you don't see this in regular lighting. That is fantastic. It looks just like a moon. I love these little craters. That is interesting. I definitely did not expect to see that. That's kind of cool. I like that. Once again, regular lighting situations, you don't see that at all. You can kind of see that triangle outline, but you don't see that moon on this guitar. That is kind of freaky, but kind of cool at the same time. So now revisiting this, what this might be is there were 6 stickers on the front at one point in time, and that's why the finish didn't age in that area. I would almost be more so likely to believe that than somebody's hand rubbing in perfect circles. But the sides of this guitar are blacklighting correctly. So this guitar passes the blacklight test. Again, you can see it glows more so there because it was resting against somebody that was sweaty. But this thing has definitely had some interesting surprises. Again, you don't see any of this under regular lighting, but that's the power of blacklights and why I suggest everybody owns one. They're not just for detecting if there's been finished touch-ups or if there's been a repair to the headstock. Sometimes it's just to find crazy stuff like this on guitars, like past stickers that have been on it. This guitar does come in its original Gibson USA case. This is the black reptile skin type one. You can see you've got some sticker residue on the outside of it. But for the most part, I would say this case is pretty clean. That's just a label sticker that I put on all my cases. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th back latch, and a functioning handle with a beautiful white interior that has some minor staining. So I think this guitar was actually played more so than I thought it was. You can see the case is very dirty. I'm not sure if you can really clean that. I mean, you'd have to use some type of detergent, and you might be able to get some of that out, but it is there. If you think you might be interested in being the next owner of this 3-pickup 2007 Classic Custom Guitar of the Week 46, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Troglys, Troglys. Thank you, Troglodytes, for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.